I'm back again with another video. So, you guys know this is Paranormal Mondays, or today is Paranormal Mondays. So, you guys know what this is basically going to be about. And if you guys already saw the title, you guys know this is going to be a creepypasta. Yeah. I love reading about creepypastas, but I am a very, I don't know, I'm kind of like a scaredy cat, I guess. So, it's not a good combination, loving it and being a scaredy cat. But, oh well, what can you do? So, while I was, doing my thing, reading as usual online, I came across one creepypasta from a website that is www.creepypasta.com. Very simple, but they have really good stories, which I love them. So guys, before starting the video, you guys know that if you guys are not subscribed, you guys should totally subscribe because, yes, why not? Because my channel is obviously really good and you guys should. Or not, I mean, it's not a big deal. But I mean, if you guys like my content, you guys should. And you guys should recommend my channel and all that because I do a variety of videos. And by that I mean I do from girly videos to scary videos to just story times, personal things, vlogs. It's just a variety. But if you guys have a favorite type of genre stuff, something that you guys want to see, you guys should leave it down in the comment box because that would be great to know more about what you guys think and what you guys want to hear. So anyways, yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And now let's go to the video. I suffer from short-term memory loss, or at least I think I do. See, STML isn't exactly how it's portrayed in the movies. No, I don't go to bed at night and wake up the next day having completely forgotten the events of that day prior. For me, it's more so the little things. It started about 6 months ago when I woke up at 6 a.m. to go to the local gas station and fulfill my daily routine of a morning coffee before work. The thing is, I couldn't find my keys. I know for some that may sound like nothing, and most people will just chop it up to me having misplaced them. To be fair, they're not completely wrong, but please hear me out for a second. I am very organized, so some may even classify it as OCD. However, I like to think of it as me being very careful with my items. I mean, for God's sake, I have a key holder for a car, I'm single, nobody's coming in or out in here. I own one car and the key holder can hold up to 10 keys, though that's a bit ridiculous in my opinion. The point I'm trying to make is that I would never in a million years not put my keys back on the holder. I almost even went as far as pulling up my floorboards in hope of finding some hidden treasures in form of keys. Of course, I had to call work and tell them I would be a few hours late. Finally, my panic pursuit came to an end. For the time being at least, I grabbed my spare keys. That was only the first of many similar incidents to come. A few months went by and I continued to search for my keys, to no avail. Part of me was paranoid someone had taken them, given them access to my car and front door. Logically, I knew that couldn't happen. Why would anyone break into my house simply to take my keys? So, I let it pass, and to keep my paranoid mind at bay, I chained the locks. The thing that irked me the most about it was losing the keychain. My girlfriend, or now ex-girlfriend, gave me the keychain at the start of our relationship 2 years ago, and it had this white rabbit foot on it. When she gave it to me, she said, "Since you made me the luckiest girl, I only thought I would be fair to give you some luck back." Yeah, I know it's cheesy, but sometimes cheesy can work. She really was great, and it still amazes me how something as great as our relationship can turn sour in a matter of a few weeks. We have now been separated for around 6 months. I would be a liar if I said I still don't think about her every day. It was almost Christmas time when the next STML incident would occur. This year my office was throwing a fairly big party, and since the party would be the best time to rub shoulders with upper management, I thought I should try to look my best. So I had mentally planned out my best outfit, a black button-up shirt, expensive dark gray dress pants with my not too flashy but still stylish Prada belt, and the best pair of shoes. This was a very expensive outfit, one that I have rarely even worn and only for the most important events. It goes without saying that it would come to my complete and utter shock that when I went digging through my closet to find the outfit, it was nowhere to be found. At first, I didn't believe it. I almost refused to believe that I could just vanish like that. I spent at least an hour tearing my closet apart, clothes streamed across my room, looking for the outfit. My once tidy room now looked like a literal tornado had just come through and tore it apart. After searching the closet top to bottom, I went to ransack every inch of my house. None of this made sense. I get maybe if one part of the outfit was missing, like the shirt, but not the whole thing. That doesn't make sense, right? I grabbed my spare keys and went to search my vehicle. I had no real reason to believe that it could be anywhere in my car, but I was desperate. Of course, it wasn't there. I knew I had only one place left to look, my ex's house. I stared at her name on the contact of my phone with my finger hovering above the call button. It started for what felt like an eternity, debating whether I should call or not. She'll just think you're desperate and want to get back together, or just looking for a quick hookup, I told myself. Finally, I took that leap of faith and called her. Each pause before the next series of ringing gave me what I felt like a mini heart attack. I even said hello a few times thinking she actually picked up. I should have seen it coming, but after some time it went to voicemail. I let out a quick sigh of relief before starting my voicemail. Hey Maggie, it's Aaron. This is gonna sound strange, but I think I may have left the outfit I wore to your uncle's wedding at your place. You know, the one with the Prada belt you got for me last Christmas. Anyways, I really need it, so if you happen to have it, give me a call or, text or something. If it's not there, sorry to bother you. Have a good day. I hung up the phone and immediately covered my face with my hands, trying to allay the embarrassment, as if someone could see me. Of course, I never got a call back or text. I really should have seen that coming. To be honest, part of me was really hurt, but my ex wasn't the first thing on my mind. Currently, it was consumed with trying to figure out why I can't remember these things. First it was my keys, now it's a whole outfit. It just didn't make sense. It was so out of character for me to misplace things, especially ones that are expensive as my next outfit. I eventually caved and bought a whole new and equally as elegant outfit to the party. The event was as nice as you would expect at an office party to be. I saw my co-workers, Jeremy and Martin, standing around near the back and decided to approach them. I really enjoyed both of their company, even though I never had a chance to hang out with them outside of work, or at least that's what I thought. This leads me to why I believe I'm suffering from short-term memory loss. After a few minutes of small talk with the guys, Jeremy looks over me and says, "Hey Aaron, we had such a good time at the Strips bar. You should come back again and kick it with us." "Strips?" I asked, puzzled. "What are you talking about?" "No way you got that drunk, man," Martin chuckled. Utterly confused at this point, I said, "I'm sorry, but I really don't know what you guys are talking about." You went out with us back a few months ago," Jeremy responded, a blank expression on his face. "What?" "Yeah, it was your idea. You called us up saying that you just broke up with your girlfriend and wanted to clear your head. You asked us if we knew any good bars, and Martin recommended Strips." Jeremy continued. "Yeah," Martin chimed. "Yeah," Martin chimed. "We were out pretty much all night. We were shocked how much of a partier you can be, since you're typically so quiet." It felt as if my whole world had been picked up and smashed down on the earth, shattering into a million pieces. I didn't remember a single thing they told me that happened that night. Not one damn thing. My heart was racing, and I felt as if I were about to have a panic attack. "I'll catch up with you guys later," was the only thing I could muster before walking away. I soon left the party, and any plans I had previously of getting into a good grace of upper management went out the door the moment I did. But I didn't care. I was more concerned with trying to figure out what the hell was going wrong with me. This wasn't just a little item I misplaced or lost. This was a whole goddamn night that I have no recollection of. The next day I called in sick and went to my regular doctor to see if he could help. I explained everything to Dr. Roberts the best way I could at least. So you think you're suffering from some sort of brain abnormality? Maybe. What do you think I am? I asked, concern clear in my voice. Aaron, do you know what STML stands for? Dr. Roberts questioned. No, I don't think I do, I replied. It stands for short-term memory loss. Tell me, have you ever suffered from any recent head injury? No, I haven't, I responded. What about sleep deprivation? Have you been getting a full night rest? He continued. Yeah, I get a good 8 hours about every night. Why, do you think something's wrong? Before we jump into any conclusions, one last thing. Have you suffered from any recent traumatic events? Traumatic? I repeated, stopping to think. No, I haven't. I mean, I did recently break up with my girlfriend. But I wouldn't say it was necessarily traumatic, I explained. So what? You think I have short-term memory loss? STML or whatever you call it? Dr. Roberts gave me a reassuring smile, shaking his head. No, I don't think you have STML. I think you're a healthy young man who probably puts himself into too much stress. Here, I'll give you a doctor's note. Take a few days off work and get out of your head. You're a nice young man. Don't worry about all this. I looked down at the note before asking, so you think I'm fine? I think you're too stressed for your age, especially over things that are so minor. The doctor advised me to take a few days off. I wish I could have said it helped, but if anything, it made it worse. Whatever it was. Over the next few weeks, I was completely paranoid. I second-guessed every decision or memory I had. It was like I didn't fully trust myself, or at least not my brain. The days I wasn't at work, I would spend hours still trying to look for my keys. I was completely obsessed. I finally made the decision that work was taking up too much of my time, distracting me from finding my keys. So I quit. Finally, my time could be fully spent on my search. I know it sounds odd, but I felt that if I could find my keys, then the whole world would make sense again, and this nightmare could finally be over. The next 2 months, I barely left the house or took any phone calls, though to be fair, I rarely received any calls in the first place. Soon I forgot I even had a phone, which would make sense as I had forgotten to pay the bill for 2 straight months, and the phone service had been shut off. Over that time, I had the same dream, or rather nightmare, every single night. In my dream, I would see my keys on the rabbit's foot keychain that Maggie gave to me, spinning in the air above my head and out of reach, taunting me. The dream consumed me, only furthering my obsession with finding the damn thing. It wasn't much longer until the worst started to happen. I began to hear a noise. No, not a voice, but a faint sound, almost like a tap. Each day it grew louder and louder. I couldn't decipher where was it coming from, but I felt as if I could find the source, I could find the keychain. Then one day it stopped. I didn't hear it again. For a whole week, that leads me here to today. It has been 6 months since I lost the lucky rabbit's foot keychain. Today I noticed something while looking at my floor. My wood floor panels were off from their pattern. My wood floor panels were off from their pattern. It looked as if the floor had been tampered with on a certain section of my house in the living room. My heart dropped when I noticed this. How long has this been this way? I thought to myself, and that's when I heard the noise again. But this time it wasn't a quiet tap. It was a loud, earth-shaking boom. The noise wouldn't stop. It was so loud, so defyingly loud. I nearly dropped to my knees in pain. I looked down and finally knew exactly where it was coming from. Underneath the floorboards, where the pattern doesn't match. I wasted no time running into my garage and grabbing a crowbar, prying at the floorboards. As I did so, the sound grew louder and louder, and my vision began to blur until I had a flashback. I remembered breaking up with Maggie on a Saturday night. I was upset, so that night I called up Jeremy and Martin to see if they wanted to grab a drink with me. They agreed, and I decided to wear my nice outfit. It had been a while since I went out to the bar as a single guy, so I wanted to dress my best. I remember the bar. The place was called Strips. I got completely drunk with the guys until we all decided to call it a night. I remembered Martin telling me I should get a cab, but I brushed him off, telling him I'm okay to drive. Just as I was on the verge of remembering everything, I snapped back into reality. Soon I forgot I even had a phone, which would make sense as I had forgotten to pay the bill for 2 straight months, and the phone service had been shut off. Over that time, I had the same dream, or rather nightmare, every single night. In my dream, I would see my keys on the rabbit's foot keychain that Maggie gave to me, spinning in the air above my head and out of reach, taunting me. The dream consumed me, only furthering my obsession with finding the damn thing. It wasn't much longer until the worst started to happen. I began to hear a noise. No, not a voice, but a faint sound, almost like a tap. Each day it grew louder and louder. I couldn't decipher where was it coming from, but I felt as if I could find the source, I could find the keychain. Then one day it stopped. I didn't hear it again. For a whole week, that leads me here to today. It has been 6 months since I lost the lucky rabbit's foot keychain. Today I noticed something while looking at my floor. My wood floor panels were off from their pattern. My wood floor panels were off from their pattern. It looked as if the floor had been tampered with on a certain section of my house in the living room. My heart dropped when I noticed this. How long has this been this way? I thought to myself, and that's when I heard the noise again. But this time it wasn't a quiet tap. It was a loud, earth-shaking boom. The noise wouldn't stop. It was so loud, so defyingly loud. I nearly dropped to my knees in pain. I looked down and finally knew exactly where it was coming from. Underneath the floorboards, where the pattern doesn't match. I wasted no time running into my garage and grabbing a crowbar, prying at the floorboards. As I did so, the sound grew louder and louder, and my vision began to blur until I had a flashback. I remembered breaking up with Maggie on a Saturday night. I was upset, so that night I called up Jeremy and Martin to see if they wanted to grab a drink with me. They agreed, and I decided to wear my nice outfit. It had been a while since I went out to the bar as a single guy, so I wanted to dress my best. I remember the bar. The place was called Strips. I got completely drunk with the guys until we all decided to call it a night. I remembered Martin telling me I should get a cab, but I brushed him off, telling him I'm okay to drive. Just as I was on the verge of remembering everything, I snapped back into reality. I continued digging up the floor, and as I did, the stench began to waft out of the underneath. In my whole life, I had ever smelled anything so foul, I nearly vomited. Finally, I had removed all the floorboards and looked down beneath. But that's again when I struck another flashback. This time I was driving home from the bar, completely intoxicated, swerving from left to right. It must have been around 3 a.m. That's when it happened. Standing on the side of the road was a man in the late 30s, and would appear to be a child who couldn't have been older than 10. They had their emergency flashers on. Their car must have been broken down. Before I knew it, I had hit them. I was so drunk I didn't even know what happened at first. My head smacked hard against my steering wheel as I came to an abrupt stop. I climbed out of my car, not understanding what had happened, and checked for damage. Luckily for my car, there wasn't a scratch on it. I then looked behind the vehicle, and there on the ground was the now dead and mangled body of the young child and man. I stood there for a solid 5 minutes in complete silence before tears started rolling down my cheeks. I looked around, checking to see if there was a car in sight. Luckily for me, there wasn't. I proceeded to load the bodies into the trunk of my car and drove off. I quickly arrived home, but now I was left with the issue of getting rid of them. I paced back and forth in my garage, trying to figure out what to do, until I looked over at my shelf that had some spare wood floorboards atop of it. That's when I got the idea to rip out a few panels and place their bodies beneath it. I loaded them both down one by one. I remember staring at them down there, feeling like I was going to puke from the sight and from the guilt. I looked down at my clothes, realizing that they were covered in blood, so I took them off and threw them down in the pit with them, my shoes included. Finally, I looked to my hand, and my white rabbit foot keychain was soaked in blood, their blood. So I dropped it down with them too. Then I sealed the hole with the new boards. Being the clean freak I am, I had a mountain of cleaning supplies. I spent hours upon hours of the night going over every inch of my car, scraping off their blood. The rest of that night I cried and kept telling myself, it didn't happen, it didn't happen, it didn't happen, until I finally fell asleep. I snapped back into current time as I once again looked down at the hole to see 2 dead bodies that were showing some sign of decay. At this point, I am far too shaken to care about the odor anymore. On top of them are my bloody clothes, and far down to the right of them is my white rabbit foot keychain, caked in dry blood. I bend down and grab the keychain. At the moment I do, the noise finally stopped. It stopped, and the whole world feels normal again, even if just for a moment. I fall to the ground and stare at the keychain, trying to process what I had done. That's when I hear something from underneath. The bodies. They began to come out. I crawled back to the corner until there was nowhere left to go. I am trapped there, left to await their imminent consumption of me. So guys, that was the Creepypasta, which it was the first time I was reading it with you guys, so yeah. That's why there's a bit of parts that are going to be cut out, or me just getting a bit confused, because, yeah. But anyhow, that was very interesting, very creepy in a way. I was really not expecting that ending, to be completely honest. To be honest with you, right now I was reading it, I was thinking, oh yeah, there's bodies underneath. There's a body, but I was thinking it was the girlfriend's body. But then it turned a twist, and it was, whoa, okay, I was really not expecting that. But anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget, tomorrow is Tryout Tuesday, which I honestly have no idea what I'm going to try out, but something I'm going to try out. Don't know what, but something. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. By the way, tomorrow is my birthday. How amazing is that? I am like, I'm going to be 19. Anyhow, guys, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!